Okay, so that was a lot of info. I hope you're not feeling overwhelmed, but we've been going over a lot of great info on, started by looking at why the church should care. We learned a little bit about the disease, and then we jumped into all the nitty-gritty of what can the church do? What is the church created to do? Now we want to move kind of to the practicalities. So that's probably a lot of head knowledge. Now what do we do with it? I think it's so helpful to see examples. We obviously believe in modeling things and looking at models. And so wanted to take this opportunity to show you an amazing example of a model of a church in Rwanda. This particular pastor and story has a special place in my heart because his testimony, his story is part of what captured my heart around the issue of HIV and the things that he says about his community that you're about to hear. And I've also had the opportunity to come full circle and be in his church and hear his support group and meet him and share our passions for this issue. So I'd like to introduce you to Pastor Stratton of Rwanda, and this is his story.
Sometimes I get overwhelmed walking through the market. How many of these people have hope? How many are lost? How many are suffering? How many have AIDS? I've read the statistics. Many people I see right now in this crowd have AIDS. But what are statistics? We all have lost a brother, a parent, cousin, or a friend. We are all affected. My name is Stratton Gata. It means I come with gifts. But sometimes I don't feel like I have much to bring. When Jesus met a blind man in the street, he was not concerned with how the man became blind. Jesus loved sick people even when everyone else ran away. AIDS. He has AIDS. I don't know why. Did the doctor give him a bad blood? Did he make a sinful choice? Or does it matter? Maybe it shouldn't matter. He is sick. Would I look at him differently if he had cancer? And his daughter, soon she will be an orphan and her life will be poverty. She has no choice in this matter. What am I to do? What am I to do? I am a pastor. I'm their pastor. They go to my church. They live in my community. I can't do much. I'm not a doctor. I do not have the cure. But here I am. I used to tell my congregation to help people who are sick. I thought that was my only job, to preach about compassion. But what if true compassion is to put your legs in someone else's shoes, to walk where they walk? I did not have this kind of compassion before. I started to talk about AIDS at church. I started visiting people in their home. I just show up, and I cannot do this alone. This is Deborah. Deborah is a volunteer from our church. God touched her heart. There are many from our church like Deborah, the body of Christ, the hands and feet of Jesus. This man lost his wife several years ago. She died of AIDS. Then he got sick too. Now, he's at home and cannot work. He's dying, but his children do not know it. What will happen to the children? The children, they are HIV positive. They don't know it yet. What do I say to them? But I can be here, touch them, pray. Then it happens. Their face will change. You see some joy in their eyes. It is good. The hope comes again. I did nothing tangible to help them. I was just there. The church began to show this kind of compassion. Those who are infected are afraid, so we held their hands. Those who are infected feel alone, so we visited them. Those who are infected are confused, so we counseled them. Those who are infected feel rejected, so we accepted them. We loved people who were hurting. A few years ago, I did nothing. People in my own community were dying. They were dying every day. They died alone. They died afraid. They died rejected by the church. A few years ago, I thought preaching was enough. That was my compassion. But if we don't do something, who will? If we don't show God's love, who will? If we don't show up, who will?
Isn't that amazing? I know when I've experienced this and when other people have experienced it, sometimes it makes you teary. It really, I think, captures the heart of God for hurting people and the role of the church. So you can see, when God got Stratton's heart, that Stratton was able to influence his church to reach his community. This was a time when there wasn't access to medication where they were in Rwanda. All they could do was show up and care. His church began raising up and training volunteers like Deborah, who gained just a bit of knowledge, but could really just be there in people's homes and visiting with them and doing what they could in terms of providing nutrition. We see that family there in the ways that the church wrapped around them. The really amazing piece that's so fun that I get to share with you is that's not the end of the story. So because that gentleman who you see in that video, Bovik, was reached out to by Deborah, he was able to get tested. And when medication became available through what we call the PEPFAR, which is the President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief. So the U.S. government's funding for free and discounted medication around the world. Bovik and his family were able to get on medication and survive. The amazing part is we went back and visited Bovik and we got to hear his story, which I would love to share with you. One note, just as we're talking about PEPFAR, is that PEPFAR is actually in danger. Like most of global health funding, it's always on the cusp of being cut, but we know that it's actually a life-saving program. And so this is another area where the church can be an advocate for things where, PEPFAR and actually all global support programs are less than 1% of our government spending, and I think people think it's so much more, but we also can see how, when the U.S. has held up this mantle of we're going to care by putting our resources for helping people get medication who wouldn't have it otherwise, that it does save lives, like Bobik and his family. So that's my one little plug of another role the church can play is advocating for these programs that do help people help save people's lives and get them onto treatment. All that to say, I'd love for you to hear Bobik's story in his own words.
I remember the first time I met Bobik. I could see no future for him and his children. But because of the church and volunteers like Deborah, they are alive today.
Naitwa Amzati Boviki. Nilifikia mwiki kipindi madame anafariki. Aligonjwa, sikujua anagonjwa nini. Nikawazia anagonjwa kifua, kumbe alikuwa anagonjwa HIV. Wakati ule uzima ulikuwa matata sana, tulikuwa na watu walikuwa nakufa usiku na mchana. Madame anafika mkufariki. Wakati shida ya madame inani preocupe sana mu maisha, nikapoteza mawazo.
It used to be the only way we could care for those people with HIV was to show up and pray. But now we can do so much more.
Kijana mmoja anaombaka kuvivante, alikuwa jirani yetu. Bakaongeaka na Deborah. Deborah akafika akaniona. Nikawazia tu kama mwanamke kwa anatafuta kunikebei. Mimi nikaona anajiinteresse sana na mimi. Akaya kunioblige nifike siku moja saa 9 kuvivante. Niende na watoto. Nikamfuata Deborah kuvivante ule jirani wangu. Basi nilifika kuvivante, sijue kitu hata kimoja kia Yesu Kristo. Sikuwa najua. Basi tukarudi, wakatupatiaka ile siku, wakanipatiaka kilo 3 ya kaunga, kilo 2 ya sosoma, wakanipatiaka kilo 3 ya maragi, wakanipatiaka kilo 2 ya mafuta, litri 2 ya mafuta. A partir kwa ya ile action niliona pale, nikaona image nyingine mu mafikiri yangu.
In partnership with government and clinics, we can train our ordinary members in the church to go out in communities and help people with medication and share our knowledge on HIV prevention and counseling.
Tulikuwa muhali mbaya sana. Du fait que mtu akanyona hivi mjia anaona tu sema kama huyu mtu sana pasha kufariki. Deborah kanyambia barisha kupima. Mimi nasema hapana. Juu ni vitu vyenye havikuwa mpsikoloji. Nani atakuwa mgeni wa mwingine? Na mimi nilikuwa nachungaka wale watu wa magonjwa hiyo kwa hospitali. Ule mama vraiment ananimarika kama maisha. Akanisogelea sana, akaniambia hakuna shida. Kengi kitakuwa Mungu iko, utaishi. Uzima uko. Ukaanza tu kunywa dawa, utaona uzima unabadilika. Akanipatia nguvu, mimi napeleka watoto. Nikaangalia ule wakati mkuu. Sipa hii dawa, kuanza kuitumia. Kana mie na watoto, hakuna hata mmoja kati yetu kama hiyo.
It is amazing what we can do when we work together and are united.